Everybody's trying to knock us off. It's us versus them. We must protect this house. Will you protect this house? I will. We must protect this house.
The shop is open.
Young money. Yeah. So, I tell her, when I go home, I that pussy for a real nigga. I already know that like this nigga, but I still nigga. Niggas is jealous, but really I could care less. I'm in Hell's Kitchen with an apron and a hairnet. Devil on my shoulder. The Lord is my witness. So on my Libra scale, I'm weighing sins and forgiveness. What goes around comes around like a hula hoop. Karma is a bitch, but just make sure that bitch is beautiful. Like on the edge, I'm dangling my feet. I tried to pay attention, but attention paid me. Haters can't see me. No, please. Today I went shopping and called the bitch. I rock to the beat of my drum set. I've been at the top for a while and I ain't jumped yet. But I'm Ray Charles to the bullshit. I jump up on that shit and do a full flip. She started to pop for a nigga and so
it's real, real, it's real.
I said, hey, got you for a second. I was take off the
It's real.
bad.
Maybe she won't. Maybe she will.
Do it for the realest niggas in the fucking game right now.
Yeah, she will.
Yeah. Do it for the realest niggas in the fucking game right now.
She will. She will.
Baby, for the money and the power and the bank right now. She will. Do it for the realest niggas in the fucking game right now.
She will.
Yeah. I tell her, that girl have that pussy for me. Haters can't see me, but the bitch is still looking for me. And you can take that to the bank and deposit that.
What's up, y'all? Support the stream if you feel so inclined.
Some people hang you out to dry like a towel rack. I'm all about I give the rest of the flowers back. I like my girl thick, not the kind of fine. Eat her till she cry. Call that wine and dine. Try to trick me and I'ma have them checking poses. Wisely. That's why I was chosen. Rocking like asphalt. It's the cash flow. Looked in the face of death. Took his mask off.
Get this blackadam shit.
House big and my grass off. I like my girl face out and her ass off. But I'm Ray Charles to the bullshit. I'm on that bullshit. She started to pop it for a nigga. That's so. I said, I ain't got you for a second.
It's real.
I wish we could take off and go anywhere. Oh, yeah.
She bad.
Maybe she won't.
Maybe she will.
Yeah.
Do it for the realest niggas in the fucking game right now. She will.
Yeah. Do it for the realest niggas in the fucking game right now.
She will. She will. She will.
Baby, for the money and the power and the fame right now. She will. Do it for the realest niggas in the fucking game right now.
She will.
She started popping for a nigga and looked back and showed me that's right.
Light skin Jesus. Damn it, BMT. Yeah, she will.
Artisan has come back to Geekdom. What's up, y'all? It's Sunday. It's 11:02. I'm Artisan MC, and this is Shop Talk Live. Thank you guys for coming through today. Appreciate you showing up early since I'm on an on-call. I swear to you, I get everything situated in one thing. Oh, hold on. And now it's not like so, I'm doing a mic check, so if you can hear me in the chat, put a 1 in the chat. What up, Herb? What up, Herb? Stay all day. Thought about doing the whole stream with my hood on because my head is cold. Thought it would be actually emblematic for what we're going to be talking about. Shout out to my boy not Double C, but peace to Double C. BMT, apparently he just went live doing his review of Black Adam. Brought his monkey ass over here. Everybody want to horn in on a nigga turf. But be that as it may, thank y'all for all coming through. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Support the stream if you feel so inclined. $ Artisan MC and Artisan MC on PayPal. It's on call weekend. It's an on call day. So that's why I went ahead and started the stream a little bit earlier. I didn't want to press my luck. It's been pretty quiet, but just in case, let's go ahead and get it in now and get this shit rolling. There's only one thing really. There's a couple things I could have talked about that happened in Geekdom this week, but it's only one thing that's been on my mind lately. And it's this Black Adam movie and how the critics are really trying to review bomb this shit. Like, for real. It's not even matching up with the audience at all. It's like a huge fucking disparity. It's obvious. And box office is not apparently tracking close to estimates, which I don't think any of these fucking movies do nowadays. But the minute by minute, hour by hour coverage that I've seen on YouTube and stuff like that, a couple of articles that I've read and seen on YouTube, these motherfuckers is tracking this shit like it's a space shuttle launch. I mean, minute by minute, they trying to see what the numbers are. And they've been doing that shit since Thursday. They weren't doing that shit for Thor: Love and Thunder. They weren't doing it for that last piece of shit movie that came out in the geek space. But this one, they watching that shit minute by minute. And to me, that means if white folks is that hyper focused on how much money you making, they worried about something. They are, because they waiting to crown it a failure, and they gonna help it be a failure any way they can. Told y'all this shit before about black folks at the front of something. They love to see it fail. They want to see it fail. Because apparently it's succeeding is something against them, makes them feel some kind of way fucked up or something. I don't fucking get it. Herb is in here, he can testify to this shit with a whole fucking comic shop. Same store. Been open for decades. But all of a sudden, oh well, I don't know now. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. If you have not seen the Black Adam movie yet, I know Malik is in here. He probably hasn't seen it yet. If AB Media come through, he hasn't seen it yet either. But he's more focused on politics right now than geek shit anyway. So that's understandable. I know those two brothers, and yeah, I know when they catch it. Everybody else, what's your excuse? Yeah, Double C, they wasn't tracking them fucking numbers that close with Captain Marvel, were they? No. Not at all. They're trying to tell you, oh, it was selling out theaters. And then you find out, no, Disney was buying out theaters to get that bitch to $1 billion. Why? Because it couldn't have Black Panther being the only Marvel movie that ever made $1 billion. And it was the movie headed by a black male. That's why she came out afterwards. No, she made $1 billion too. Bullshit. Okay, how many times has anybody seen that fucking movie? And I bet money it's about as many times as people have seen The Last Jedi. Shut the fuck up. With the bullshit. Quit with the bullshit. All right, so we got the like, share, subscribe, support the stream. First shot goes out to you guys. Will have to bear with me on a moment because obviously I'm at work, so I'm doing this off of my phone, so I don't have extra windows open. Show my fucking head. First one I see is Malika from, I believe it was yesterday, donate to the stream. Appreciate you, Malika. I will give you the moniker that you hung on it. The 3B salute. Appreciate you, Malika, for always sharing this stream, or excuse me, supporting the stream, my cinephilic brother. I have my tablet here, but I know it's moving so slow. Oh, see, another white boy. Just not enough. He just didn't make enough money. Oh, just saying. The fix has been in for this motherfucker. Yeah, I have my tablet here too, but the internet signal is bad over here, so everything is a little bit slower. So that's why I have to let things do what they do. So if you see me sitting here looking like a stuck ass for half a second, it's because the internet, the Wi-Fi here is kind of slow. Too many walls, too far away. So, how y'all doing? And y'all might have to slow down a little bit in the chat. Not that I don't like it, it's just that I have to read it and it's on a small screen. So got that one. Malika said he's going to see it tomorrow. Cool, Malika. Yeah, that's your day off. You want to use your day off, go grab a matinee and go do it. Now, I'll say this. If you guys saw my reaction, I never said it was an awesome movie. I said it was about average at best, right? That's honest. But it's a good popcorn flick. I've heard people repeating, oh, it's a popcorn flick. No, really? Really? Now y'all, no. Thanks for listening, you bitches. Look, that's why I put it out there initially to try to head off the fucking complaints that were going to come. Is write down on a piece of paper what did you expect this movie to do for you? What did you expect? Write it on a piece of paper and then look at it after you see the movie. Because an overly terrible critique of this movie means you expected something else, right? And all I keep hearing from people who have reviewed it and criticizing it is the same thing. It's not so much the movie. The movie does have flaws. Like I've told you, there is no perfect movie. There is no perfect movie, especially not a superhero movie. There is no perfect movie. Just isn't. But the critiques they level at the movie is not about the movie. It's about The Rock. And about The Rock stating a position that he was going to change the hierarchy of power in the DCEU. That's where they have a problem with, because that sets up a situation where you're coming in dominant of a situation as a black man. Now, regardless of how light or dark he fucking is on the spectrum to anybody black, that's a nigga as far as anybody white looking at him is concerned. That's just what it is. It don't matter if he mixed with Samoan, Fiji, and a couple other damn things. It don't goddamn matter. Just like Barack Obama. Don't matter his mama white. That's a nigga. Anybody who wanted to find a criticism of his ass outside of his fucking politics, he was a nigga first. Doesn't fucking matter. Right? So everything I keep hearing on criticism of this movie does not show anything really about the movie, technically, or anything like that. It comes down to it's The Rock, and he was coming in very dominant, very masculine, and they didn't like that shit. So that's why everybody is sitting here on the numbers like, this motherfucker better fail. It better fail. That's why they sitting there scrutinizing the numbers so closely, because it has to fail for them. I've seen one, dude, I've seen one YouTuber. This motherfucker has been posting every 2 fucking hours about this movie and its box office take since Thursday. And saying it was a failure since Thursday. His fucking opinion has not changed. And he don't like The Rock. But all he's doing is looking at the box office numbers. Now I'm sitting there looking at this shit like, okay, if that's 4,000 people just saw that, how many people are you influencing? Okay, say 50%. Now you're doing another one 2 to 5 hours later, and that's another 4,000 or so people. Okay, that's another 50%. Okay, so now you got a whole 4,000 people completely dissuaded from going to see the movie. You're making your own prediction. You're trying to influence the box office numbers, what you're doing. Because you didn't just make one review and call it a day and come back to it after the weekend like most people do with any fucking movie that comes out. Oh, yeah, it comes out on Friday. We'll see what the weekend does. Catch you on Monday or Sunday. No, this motherfucker's doing it multiple times a day since Thursday. He's trying to help tank this movie. Reason being, the motherfucker is half a shield for Marvel. He wasn't doing this many fucking reactions for the She-Hulk show. Nah. Joe Herb said, the real talk, the second black man is in charge of something successful, they worried and straight up mad. Yes, it's true. It's true, Herb. It is. They want it to fail after that. That's you want to see why? Robert F. Smith made how much money? Millions? Billions? Became a whole billionaire, right? Nobody gave a shit. Until he paid off all them black male student loans. Then the IRS was trying to climb up his ass. What is that about? Fuck you helping them for? That's what that's about. The same shit happened to Oprah when she gave all that money away. Then what happened? IRS started looking at her. Then she was giving cars and shit like that away to them white folks. Then they was cool. Nobody really likes to see a black man in a position of power on anything. Even if he not carrying it like he got an 80-pound dick and swinging it over his fucking shoulder. Nobody want to see that shit. Even some black folks. What else? I'm trying to catch up to your comments right now. I'll see it on my next day off. Working 2 jobs is my reason I haven't seen it yet. Double C, I understand, man. I understand. Don't. Look, I told y'all it's an average movie, which doesn't make it fucking terrible. It's not a terrible movie. It's just a movie. It should have come. I still stand by this. That should have came out in the summertime. That was a summer release movie. That is not a fall Halloween season release movie. No fucking way in hell. That was fucking terrible scheduling. That was fucking terrible scheduling. Now, I think the reason why it was scheduled that way, because this is not the first movie with The Rock for Warner Brothers. This is not his first Warner Brothers movie. This is the second one this year. The second one this year. You know what the first one was? Super Pets. When he was Crypto the dog, the super dog. And far as I understand, he had a cameo. Was Black Adam in that shit too? Okay. Herb said Black Adam was good to me. Understood the plot, liked the action, could have worked on the villain a little bit more. Yeah, that's a legit criticism on that shit because that was dropped in at the tail end. But I'll tell you why that was too, Herb. But overall, it was good to me. Yeah, it was entertaining, which is what it's supposed to be. What's good? I'm listening. I see you in here. What up, Ray? The Homo Force in here. Was good with you? I am serious, Ray. Even when I'm joking, I'm serious. I'm always serious. Yeah, even when I'm joking. But I don't know what point you're talking about because I'm catching up to. Shit. Insecure motherfuckers. Yeah, DJB. Yeah, that's all it is. What do you think racism or bigotry actually is? A fear of somebody being better than your ass. That's an insecurity. Secure people don't worry about that shit. They be like, that nigga making a movie, what the fuck ever. Hierarchy of power gonna shift? Yeah, whatever, man. Just do your shit. We don't give a fuck. That's a secure person listening to you make that claim. Like, whatever. Insecure motherfucker, what are you trying to say? He trying to be on top and dominate us? Oh, hell no. Ian Williams, the way they're reporting the numbers, it will look like it tanked. It will. It will look like it tanked. My thing is this, because the numbers they keep adding into it, right? They add the production cost plus the advertising cost, and that's what they come up with a total number to say how much the movie needs to make. The number they throwing out there with all that stuff added together is $500 million. That this movie needs to make $500 million or it's a loser. Look, as far as I'm concerned, if I make the money that I spent on it back, advertising is something completely fucking different. You always gonna pay advertising, and you pay it how big or how little. That's on you. That's completely on you. How much did you have to hype up the next DC movie? You didn't have to hype it up much. So that was totally on you for advertising. Look, if it makes the money back it took to make the goddamn movie, awesome. If it goes over that, awesome. If it made $300 million, you got the money back that you spent making the film, paying the actors and shit. That advertising shit is on you. Fuck you. Why does that come to my fault? I see movies that have very little fucking advertising and bomb completely. Why? Because they had no fucking advertising. But they did make the money back on making the movie. Shut the fuck up. What up, Beastly? I think we got Blue Beast in here. Yeah, Super Pets. See, Beastly, no? Super Pets. How much money did that movie make opening weekend? I looked it up, nigga. Like 95 million? Wait, let me see. Excuse me. 93 million. Off an animated movie with him in it and his voice. And Kevin Hart goofy ass. And you trying to say he a failure. Not this year. Look, even if Black Adam only makes $65 million, this year The Rock has made Warner Brothers on opening weekend about $100 and something million. Tell me this. How much money did Amazon just lose on Rings of Power for one season? Now, you can't say this is comparing a movie to a television show. Okay. I wouldn't think it was fair to measure it against Thor Love and Thunder because Thor is already on number 4. So it's an established franchise. You were getting people in there just for the fact that fucking Chris Hemsworth was going to be naked in the shit. Bitches showed up for that. And look what you got. A fucking stinker of a movie, no matter how much money it made. But they're saying this movie sucks and it shows and how much money it didn't make. Isn't that funny? It's funny how that works, right? But they wouldn't say Thor Love and Thunder sucked ass. But everybody knows it does. But it made so much money. That's why you don't listen to them with that shit. Critics with the money numbers mean that they don't want to talk to you about no substance, about what's actually in the movie. That's actually the reviewer's job. I'll see it because I'm giving Dwayne the blues. Yeah, they're trying to give him the blues, man. They really are trying to give him the blues. Like, far as I know, ever since the fucking Rundown, The Rock ain't been in a movie that's not made money. Disney love using his ass. This is Warner Brothers' first go-round with him. Or second. I would consider it the first since they had his ass sitting on the bench for so goddamn long, giving him grief about making the shit. and not wanting to be somebody's fucking bullshit villain. Like, no, I need my own movie. Fuck you. The Rock says I need my own movie. That dude watching the numbers, hoping for a movie to fail. Now that shit is annoying. Yes, he's watching the numbers and reporting the numbers because he's trying to make it fail. Understand what spreads better than good news? What spreads faster than good news? Bad news. Oh, here we go. Another fucking troll in this bitch. Find out who keep putting these goddamn bots in here and why YouTube won't do anything about it. I'm gonna have a fucking field day. Calling their name. Yeah, Beastly. Fucking Rings of Power. Lost $500 million. Yeah. Fuck you. Okay, so now I'm all caught up. Awesome. So here's the thing. To remember my point and what Joe Herb was asking me that I told him I would tell him later. Fuck, I don't want to scroll up to it again. Sorry, y'all. Oh, man. Got a stream of consciousness and I keep breaking it up. Okay, the villain thing. I was going to go over this in my review. What up, No One? Package Man in the building. I was going to go over this in my review, but here's the villain thing. If you watch this movie, and spoiler alert is in effect. What's up, All-Star? Let me go ahead and put this shit up here because I need to have a real conversation. I can't do it with my hand over my mouth. So let me give y'all that. This is your one and only spoiler alert. You ain't got to leave, but look, plug your ears or something if you don't want to hear some of this shit. And I will not try to spoil the whole fucking shit, but it is what it is, right? Yeah, All-Star G. You seem to notice that, don't you? Seem to notice a split. When they talk about a split in the audience and the critics, who are the critics? Bunch of fucking white boys, ain't they? Interesting. But you can see who they do praise in the movie, right? Dr. Fate and Henry Cavill. It's funny how that works, huh? Seems like the same critique they was given on Shang-Chi and Snake Eyes. These were shit movies according to them too, right? Shang-Chi was good to me. They also had the same critique about the villain at the end. Oh, it was just a CG fest. Oh, really? Really? That's where we're going? In a superhero movie. Really? Oh, okay. All right. Those thing with Snake Eyes. Oh, it wasn't G.I. Joe. Well, it wasn't a G.I. Joe movie, motherfucker. It was called Snake Eyes. An origin. And yes, he was Asian. I'm sorry. Did we really need a white dude playing the American ninja going around kicking all these Japanese people's ass? Did we really need to see that this time around? You know that was actually bullshit when it was put into the toy too, right? You know, the creator of the shit wasn't a white boy. The creator of the character wasn't a white boy. He modeled it on himself, what he did in the military. You think it was really supposed to be a white boy? Yeah. Cut that shit out. Cut it the fuck out. Dwayne said he's the hardest worker in the gym and no one will outwork him. And he has proven that 10 times over. Man, you ain't got to do shit. But look, one day on The Rock's Instagram and see him working out in the fucking gym. Look, I told you. Me and The Rock probably about the same age, if I'm not a year or two older than him. I'm embarrassed if I was standing next to The Rock, nigga. I have to do something, motherfucker. I have to do something. Maybe the motherfucker puts in his work. But outside of just working in the gym, that mentality works towards everything else. He's been a professional athlete. He's been a AAA athlete. He's been a wrestler at the top of his game. Like he said, used to throw around 300-pound guys every night of the week. for years. There is not much you're not telling this dude about what he can't do. His determination and his will has been proven. This motherfucker's only been acting for about maybe 20 years. Right? Because what was it? The Mummy was his first movie. That was just a role, and then it spun into The Scorpion King and The Rundown. That was all 90s, late 90s, 2000s. It's only been like 20 years. And he's been doing action movies. So that's why I asked people to write down what they were expecting to get out the movie, because you went into a superhero action movie. Were you expecting some gripping emotional fucking story out of that shit? No. Not for this character. Not for a superhero character's first movie. Look. Match this movie up for those of you who have seen the fucking movie, okay? For those of you who have seen the fucking movie. Match this movie up to Thor's first movie. Match it up to Captain America's first movie. Just do that, because that's what it is. Fucking match it up to Shazam's first movie. If you just want to stay in Warner Brothers. Just do that. Just do that. How good is it? About average, just like the rest of them are fucking average. But they're critiquing this motherfucker like it's supposed to come in and be in-game. Nobody knows this. Fuck, most of you goddamn critics don't even know this fucking character. The article that I read, that I shared with Dr. T, BGS, I forgot to send it to Dr. Anwar. The motherfucker who wrote this article probably didn't even pay attention to the fucking movie. Look, I sent it to my boy Black Bang, right? We were talking about this. I sent it to Black Bang. Black Bang sent me back an audio message like, fuck this. I can't get too far in this because this motherfucker's saying Dr. Fate is a second-tier character. Yeah, because he don't know the fucking characters. The person writing the article knows shit about the characters. He doesn't care about the movie. He's not even getting the points that he's mentioning in the movie correct. It's like, that's not who that was. You didn't even watch the fucking movie, but you put out an article saying this was the worst movie ever. Like, how? How the fuck is that? Dark Phoenix still exists. The superhero movie still exists. I've seen some of the worst movies ever made, and this ain't one of them. It's not the best movie ever made either, because, mind you, given my age and my perspective, I've seen shitty superhero movies all through the 80s and 90s. This ain't one of them. Now, here's the other trope that you'll hear that the critics say. Oh, this is so late. It seems so dated. Okay. Why does it seem dated? Why? Because Warner Brothers, the old administration at Warner Brothers, Hamana and Sarnoff, they kept pushing this fucking movie back, installing development on this shit. For 10 to 15 years? Motherfucker. How long does it take to get any movie made nowadays? 2 to 3 years? What is the excuse for holding a movie up for damn near 10 years? And then your critique on it is that it seems dated? Motherfucker, it was damn near mothballs. Now, I explained this to Dr. Anwar yesterday. This is a critique on the movie. Some of the stuff that you see in this movie, special effects wise, fights wise, you may have seen in something else from Marvel already, right? And that's what people were trying to play it on, right? Oh, it's dated. Well, why? My thing is this. I've told you guys before. Why is there a Star Trek DS9 and a Babylon 5 that come out in the same year? Why is that? Because one stole ideas from the other one and rushed it to the market first. That's how that shit works. So if you're seeing something in this movie and you're thinking, wow, they copied that from Marvel, did they? Or did Marvel get wind that this was going on at Warner Brothers and do it before they did? Now, the biggest one you'll say is that, oh, Dr. Fate is like Doctor Strange. Okay, for all my comic book reading people, are they similar? Yes, they are. Completely different power sets, though. Completely different. Some of it crosses over because they were made around the same time, but not the same character. Is he doing some of the same type of effects? Well, yeah, that's what Dr. Fate's shit looks like. And as I pointed out to Dr. Anwar last night on his show talking about Black Adam, Doctor Strange ain't never been able to read the future. That's not a power that he has ever had. That's why they gave it to him in Infinity War through the use of the Time Stone. They gave him the ability to see multiple futures. Well, if that's an ability in the Time Stone, let me ask you a question. Why the fuck didn't Thanos use it not to lose? Because it's an ability with the stone, right? That would be trying to see what fate is, wouldn't it? What I think happened is somebody at Marvel found out what was going on over at Warner Brothers with this Black Adam movie that was getting held up and hamstrung forever, and found out about Dr. Fate being in there and what he was doing. Probably could have seen some previous special effects. And they went ahead and threw that shit in their movie first. Because Marvel already got their assembly line up and running. That shit is running. The Rock is being stalled. So they went out there and did the shit first. Hey, we good, right? And now the person that they got the idea from comes behind after the fact. And then it's like, oh, you copied them. Which could be a fucking insult. No, the fuck we didn't. Otherwise, if this shit wasn't already done, do you think they would actually come out with a brand new movie and do brand new effects and make it look just like the other shit that just already came out there? That wouldn't help their movie any. It would. This was shit that was already in the can and done. Now, to Joe's other point, right? You got the Dr. Fate reason there, right? The other one comes into the thing with Atom Smasher. Same thing. Because what reason in the world do you have to have the character billed as Ant-Man becoming Giant Man ever? Because you know that's basically two separate characters in Marvel, right? Ant-Man and Giant Man are two separate characters. This is the same person, but he uses that shit differently. When he's being Ant-Man on the Avengers, he just shrinks. If he's being Giant Man on the Avengers, he just grows large. He doesn't go back and forth. But Marvel already got the assembly line running. So they throw that shit in there. Takes the winds out of the sails of Warner Brothers ever popping up with Atom Smasher or the Atom, who grows bigger and smaller. So what? You amazed that DC has some characters that grow big? You have to understand that DC as a comic book company was around before Marvel. right? That's why DC has more characters, so to speak. Marvel came around after them, and that's their competition. But even back in the day, these artists and writers knew each other. They'd hang out, and they would compete. And part of competing is making characters like, oh shit, you got one character that does that? Well, I got one like that too. It's better. Well, how's he better? Well, maybe we get into this microverse shit. What is Ant-Man other than a Ray Palmer? Other than an Atom? With a little bit more stuff going on. Who is he? Who is a Doctor Strange without a little bit more fleshed out of the mystic psychotropic era shit than Dr. Fate, who was created in if what's his name? Who was it? Starling or no? Was it Mobius? Starling. I forget who got on Doctor Strange. Who really made it interesting because he really drew trippy shit. What is Doctor Strange without? That's the hallmark of the character at that point. And the Double C's point, yes. Dr. Fate is a top tier character. That's also what I explained to Dr. Anwar, is that, look, Dr. Fate is similar to a Doctor Strange, but yes, he's the same thing. You know shit has gone to hell if he show up. It's obviously a fucking problem. Obviously a problem. If John Constantine ran into some shit, who do you think he's gonna call? Ghostbusters? Dr. Fate will show up. Get him out of his mess. Just saying. So enough of the dumb shit with people. Now, yeah, Ditko. Thank you, Malika. Appreciate you. Getting older, man. Getting older. Yeah, Ditko. What is Doctor Strange without Ditko art? All that trippy shit. That sold it. In them days where people was taking drugs and shit. Looked like one of the dreams they had. Man, this is trippy. This is crazy. And now you got Doctor Strange. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. The other part, to get back to Herb's part about the villain at the end. Okay, so this is where in the movie, it seems like the movie was broken in half. That this is one of the reshot scenes for this movie at the tail end. I think the movie was actually finished a while ago. But they didn't give him a release date. And some of the other stuff that The Rock wanted, they weren't giving it. That's why the shit was in limbo for so far. Constantly being worked on by the schedule, whatever the fuck they say. Rock came out when the movie dropped and told y'all, well, this is what I wanted. And the people over at Warner Brothers, the old regime over there, fired Henry Cavill. And that's why you didn't get Henry Cavill. I wanted Henry Cavill. Shit. They didn't want Henry Cavill when they fired us. This. You see, since this movie has come out, Walter Hamada has finally given his walking papers with his lip stuck out about his black Superman that he wanted because he didn't want Cavill. You know, Walter Hamada is the one that sits over all the rest of these DC movies too. He's also Miss Ann's, errand boy, who also doesn't like anything related to Snyder. That's why your Snyderverse movie, I keep pointing this shit out. Snyderverse, the Snyder cut of the Justice League was not Warner Brothers. That was AT&T putting that shit out. That's why it came out on HBO Max, so they could make money off of it. The people in leadership of Warner Brothers, Warner Films, that's Arnold, Walter Hamada, didn't want Zack Snyder's shit. You know what they wanted? The Justice League that you got. That theatrical cut of Justice League is just what the fuck they wanted you to have. How awesome was that? So fan revolt and petition to get Snyder's version done and put out was just that, the fans' response. And AT&T listened to the fans and gave them the money to do that shit. They didn't want it. That old regime at Warner Brothers is the ones that have you, no Ben Affleck, no Henry Cavill, none of this awesome dark side shit that could have been possibly coming up. None of all this script stuff that Jim Lee had drawn up and all the rest of that shit. None of that. What they were giving you was the Harley Quinn solo movie, the Birds of Prey solo movie, the Joker solo movie, the Batman solo movie. They were walking away from all of that and spinning everything off to its own little one-shot universes. They didn't want any continuity because that was too difficult for them to fucking do. So they just wanted to spin shit off in different directions so they can give you your female Superman, your female Batman. You can give you Batgirl. That's what they were doing. They're the ones behind Wonder Woman 1984. That's why I don't understand why everybody got so much hate for Zaslav coming in. Like, you know he ain't did shit yet, right? This Black Adam movie will be the first one he's pushed out. And you know how you know? Because he's the one lets The Rock put Henry Cavill back in it. Because he didn't understand why the fuck would Warner Brothers be sitting this marquee characters, Batman and Superman, on the fucking bench to replace them with tiny ass girls. He didn't understand that shit coming in the door. Like, what the fuck is this? This doesn't even make any sense. You got Henry Cavill out there twisting in the wind. You got Ben Affleck out there twisted in the wind. But the only thing they actually could get done is this goofy-ass Flash movie introducing female Superman and this Batgirl show movie replacing Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton at the same time. And the critics was loving it. So, to Herb's point, before I get to the other point, because I'm going with the stream of consciousness, it seems like it was two movies. If you watch the movie, you'll see it gets to a point where Black Adam is going into sleep. Just put it that way so I don't spoil it. Black Adam is going to sleep. He powers down, he lets them take him, and he's going to sleep. That should have been the end of the movie. Should have been. But this whole other part at the end, that last, 20 minutes or so? I think that was the add-on, the recent add-on, that you needed a bigger villain to fight, because that ending with him going to sleep leaves it open for he can come back. That would have been the perfect place to end the movie. But the movie picked back up again and went on. I think that was the new regime coming in and saying, no, we need something to cap this off with, something a little bit better. And look, if you do this, we'll give you Henry back. You can have Henry in the shit if you give us this. Because studio heads love that big CG fight at the end. They always love that shit. Talk to Wesley Snipes about the first Blade movie and what La Magra actually looked like in the beginning. The big blood bag shit, yeah. Studio loved that shit. He actually convinced them. That don't make no fucking sense. Now, if you want a further note on that shit, New Line Cinema made the first Blade movie. New Line Cinema signed off on The Rock doing this movie too. I think that's their thing. They like big CG monsters at the end. They do. Makes it something for, people to watch and get excited about. Like, oh, shit. Doesn't end on a downer. It's like, well, that's it. It just ends with him getting put in fucking carbonite? Okay. I guess I'll have to wait till the next movie to see what's happening. They want you to leave on some pump. Studio heads want you to leave on some pump. give you something to be excited about in the next movie. I think that was the add-on. That was the reshoots. All that last part was the reshoots, because that's the main thing the critics focus on. And since critics with some pipeline to these studios, they would know that that was probably what it was, and that's why they can jump on it, and that's why they do jump on it. But I give a fuck about him fighting this big villain at the end? No. Who else was he gonna fight? Hawkman again? No, that actually made some kind of sense. Give him something so at least you introduce another villain on his level. It was just, it seemed rushed the way they threw it in to the script wise and story wise, because it's something that wasn't previously established. That's what it was. So I do think that was an add on, a studio ad at the end to give you something. But beyond that, it wasn't there before. That was a recent ad. Just like the Henry Cavill, which was a recent ad. As far as I understand, they just shot that shit like last month. Why did they just shoot it last month? If Henry Cavill had been at Warner Brothers all this time, why did they just have to shoot this last month? Because the outgoing regime didn't want Henry Cavill, just like they didn't want Zack Snyder. And they were trying to destroy and get rid of those characters to give you the version that they wanted, which was the woke version, which was everybody has to be a little girl, a 90-pound chick. Which leads to the main reason I think a lot of these critics are shitting on this movie so hard and want it to fail. And that's why they're looking at the numbers. I can tell you this for a fact. There is no wokeness in this movie. This is not a woke fest. This ain't a vagina moistening ceremony. It's not. You know what it is? A dousing in some masculinity. That's exactly what the fuck it is. You want to know what's the woke shit in it? The JSA showing up trying to tell Black Adam what to do is your feminist. Your masculinity is Black Adam telling you no. I do what the fuck I want. Like, okay, I'll compromise a little bit. They didn't die. But I saved them. Yeah. So they didn't die. Problem solved. But you dropped them. You were there. You catch them. Make yourself useful. He had to think he was going to die if he was going to tell me what I wanted to know. You saved him. He lived. Fine. Do whatever the fuck you want with him after that. I just needed the information. That's what it was. There was too much masculinity coming off of this movie. You know why? Because The Rock stepped in on a masculine foot saying this was going to be this from jump. Now, you'll see a lot of critics attack him for that statement, but look at it this way. He was right. You know how you know he was right? When he made that statement at DC Fandom, where was your Superman and Batman? Where was your Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck? They were gone. They were not getting solo movies. If it wasn't for the Snyder cut, you wouldn't have seen their asses again in that. They were done after the JLA movie. Done. You wasn't seeing them in shit. But what was on the slate that The Rock knew about was this new super girl and this new Bat girl. So if that would have went forward, that leaves you with female Superman, female Batman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman if they figured out how to replace his ass with Murrah. It's probably why they kept Amber Heard's bitch ass around. And now The Rock is coming in with Black Adam. Yes, the hierarchy of power would have fucking shifted because none of them fucking characters was going to be able to beat his ass. They don't even look like they could take him. Now you tell me, which would look more fucking upsetting? You got little female Superman, and you can look it up in this Flash movie and see what that girl looks like in that goddamn costume of this Flash movie shit that's coming out. Look it up online yourself and see what she looks like. Match that little bitch up standing next to the Rock's Black Adam. You tell me if the hierarchy of power has changed or not. Now you already know from DC that Wonder Woman cannot physically overpower Superman. Can't do it. She's a better fighter, but she ain't overpowering Superman. So she out of the loop, standing next to a Rock Black Adam. You done, Gail. We can both go back to the Fast and Furious. Let's race for it. Now you put him, if Henry Cavill Superman is stronger than Jason Momoa Aquaman, what do you think Black Adam is? Weaker? And I like Jason Momoa, but that would actually be a good fight. But if they're moving away from the Snyder stuff because they hate Snyder stuff, where do you think Jason Momoa was going? And why do you think they kept Amber Heard ass? So they could shift it off to Murrah. Why do you think that movie going through reshoots? You think she was not going to get an elevated position? Why do you think Walter Hamada was up there on her fucking trial? The balance, the hierarchy of power in that universe was shifting with Black Adam coming in because he was the only one coming in masculine. The rest of the characters they were trying to push to you was all feminine. They, them, whatever. They was all woke characters. And never mind fucking Ray Fisher. They was cutting his ass out the picture all together. You ain't seen them mention shit about Cyborg coming anywhere near the DCEU. They still ain't addressed Ray Fisher's concerns. So if they did that to Ray Fisher, the fuck you think they had for The Rock? The same shit. It's another brother. It's another brother. Another light-skinned brother getting a business under the old regime. Yeah, BMT, what's up? Yeah. None of them was. And Frame Runner, yeah, you're right. Female Green Lantern. Why do you think it's taking so long for a Green Lantern movie to come out? Oh, we're going to do something different. You know what different they were going to do? What Frame Runner just said here. Figure out how to give you a female Green Lantern. You know in comic books how they be test bedding this shit. They got 2 new ones already. One black one, one Latina. They just figure it out which way they want to spin it. Fuck out of here. Yeah, All-Star G. They do hate masculine black men. They do. Hate that shit with a passion. You don't think so? What's your next Black Panther movie about? Don't worry, I'll wait, but I'll sit here and laugh while I'm waiting. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. If you're in here on the cloud and just want to listen, drop something in the cup since you just want to ear hustle. Ian Williams, I can believe it. I can believe it. He said, I can't believe The Rock is attacked for wanting to make an action movie that makes money. He should be applauded. He should be. He should be applauded for actually sticking with the shit as long as it took to get it fucking made. You know the other reason they're attacking him, right? Outside of, well, he a big buff black dude saying he gonna change the power. He coming in way too dominant with too much of that big dick energy. Oh no, we don't like that in Hollywood. No, you better tuck your dick, tuck it back, homie. No. You know what else? He was doing it for the fans. Oh my God, that's a bad word. You did something for the fans? You know what Hollywood's standard call is now? Especially coming from Ann, the outgoing administration of Warner Brothers. What was her main call? The fans are the problem. The fans are why these movies suck. No, they're not. We don't make this shit. You do. You hire the people that put this shit on film in front of our faces. And we decide if we like it or not. So now, nobody wants to listen to the fans. Nobody in Hollywood wants to listen to the fans. You just saw She-Hulk. What did they do? Tried to make fun of YouTubers and everything else. And clap that bitch up like, oh, she's brilliant. She's a genius. Like, no, the fuck she's not. That means she wrote this script on the weekend sitting on the fucking internet. She didn't do her work. And is getting praised for it. And when you tell them how bad it is, it's like, oh, it's the fans. Well, you can't say that right now with Black Adam, can you? Because it's not the fucking fans. The fans are giving it good reviews. The critics are the ones shitting on it now. But the critics are the one who like shit like Rings of Power and She-Hulk. And the people who didn't like it, which were the fans, oh, don't listen to them. They hate everything. They're just misogynists and racists. So where are they now? Where are they now? Are they misogynists and racists now? Because if you listen to shit like Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't, as far as I know, it's sitting at a 90%. That must be all misogynists and racists and stuff in there, right? You mean a racist gave it a 90% for a black character? That don't make any sense. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Woman King 2 is Edward Anderson. Yeah, me and Edward on the same page with that shit. He came in my comment section about Black Panther 2. Like, look, 1.5. 1.5. At that. Because he asked me flat out, you going to watch that shit? Yeah, I'm going to watch it, Edward. I'm going to watch it. I am. I have to. Just for the black folks involved. They're not responsible for the writing of this shit. God damn it. 1 second. Sorry about that, folks. I had an alert and I'm trying to turn off this comment at the same time. And it read one and not the other. Turn the comment off. Thank you. Shit. This is what happens when things are slow. Oh, you want me to turn that off? Okay, boss. The way he has speed. Okay, you're talking about the movie now, BMT. That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, a lot of these moist Hollywood critics are planning this shit. The article that I read that I sent around to people, that motherfucker was moist as hell. I would venture, since the dude is from the Bay Area, he is one of these squishy boys. He just hates The Rock. Too much masculinity. That's why the comment about the movie being, oh, it's just a beat 'em up. I don't get any emotional stuff. Well, go watch a movie with some fucking chicks in it. It's an action movie. You know what? One of the best parts, since people want to say this movie is dated and it's something from the '90s, you know one of the best parts about RoboCop, the original RoboCop when it came out, it had no love story. There was no fucking love story in that shit. He wasn't trying to get nobody in the bed or none of that. You know what he was out there doing? Fighting fucking crime and laying motherfuckers out gruesomely. Cult classic. Critics didn't like it. Fans did. Go figure. Go to fuck figure. And that's why I thought it was interesting that the critique on some of this movie, of the Black Adam movie, that it was something from the '90s. And I'm like, you know what came out in the '90s, right? Spawn. Blade. Oh, so I guess the parallel that you're drawing from the '90s with this movie is it's a movie from the '90s because it's a black male starring in the lead role of this shit. Oh, I guess that's what it is. Must be. You know what the other interesting part parallel to all that was? Every one of those movies were made by New Line Cinema. Every one of them. Every one. Interesting. So if I go back to it and look, this movie is on pace to make what those movies made. It is. I went back and looked it up. Went on Box Office Mojo. Shout out to Edward Anderson for that because he told me about that shit. I went to Box Office Mojo and I looked up Blade and Spawn and Black Adam and see what they weekend take was opening weekend. You know where this one falls? Probably in the top 3 of those. It does. What was it? Blade in '98 made $70K opening weekend. That starred a black male with a character nobody fucking knew about. Okay. Spawn came out in '97, a year before. Opening weekend, it made 54 million. Black character nobody knew shit about. Now here's this one. Black Adam. A character nobody knows much about, starring a black man. At this point, it's made about 63 million. Seems like it's right on track. Seems like it's right on track. All from the same studio. What does that tell you? And still getting the same critical hate that Spawn got, that Blade got, that Black Adam is getting right now. The only one that didn't get any hate that was starring a black man like that, Black Panther, because that was Disney behind it and their advertising. And like I said before, they're so worried about that movie they let Ryan Coogler do whatever the fuck he wanted to. And the cast took pay cuts to get the movie out because they knew how important it was to be made. Pay cuts to get it made. And then it came out and did $1 billion. And that's why everybody was like, oh my God, I didn't know. You didn't know, huh? Well, why didn't you give Wesley Snipes Black Panther to do when he asked for it back in the 90s? Same shit. Same string you along for 20 goddamn years until they figure out a way to do it. Same shit. And that's when Wesley got them IRS boys on his ass too. All of a sudden. Because he was making some moves. Funny how this shit keeps happening. Seems like a play. Seems like repetitive. Like I've heard this tune before. I've felt this kind of hatred before. Studio said his daughter liked Adam Smasher the most. Adam Smasher was fun. He was fun. He was goofy. But because you've seen how Ant-Man acts, it seems derivative, right? But this movie has been in production for a while. Okay. Okay. And notably, most people say they don't even like the Ant-Man movies and hadn't seen them. So what the fuck are they upset about? Oh, him showing up in Endgame, the Avengers movie. Oh, okay. Copy that. A lot of good action movies came out in the '90s, so yeah, beastly nerd. That's what I said. Like, so what the fuck are you saying? The '90s? Like, wait a minute, nigga, I was alive in the '90s. The people who saying this probably weren't. And notably, when I'm looking at them, like, yeah, you probably was about fucking 10 years old in the '90s. What the fuck are you talking about? Really? Hmm. You know, Batman '89 came out in '89, but that means Batman Returns came out in the '90s. Oh, that's a hell of an alert. $140 million global box office for Black Adam. Hmm. Look, if I was Zaslav coming into Warner Brothers and The Rock is there putting so much passion into this movie, he promoting it like nobody else promoting this shit on his own. Whatever money he made me on this piece of shit company that I had to take over because it was losing so much goddamn money from mismanagement would be a godsend. I don't give a fuck how much money you made on this shit. Please. Because we just fucked off $200 million on this Batgirl shit. Ezra Miller, good goofy ass, got us in all kind of hot water, PR nightmare, that we having to go reshoot this whole goddamn movie and pushing back our slate so we can reshoot this fucking movie. How much money is that fucking costing? From the last regimes, no, we're riding with Ezra. Fuck Ezra. I liked Ezra too until he started doing a lot of damn goofy shit. Same thing with Brie Larson. Liked you in the United States of Terror. I don't know what the fuck happened to you after that. You got to be the goofiest motherfucker out there. I cannot deal with her ass now. Like, look, it happens. People are kids. They real cute. They fun. You have a good time with them. They grow up and it's like, this is an annoying fucking adult now. Whatever, man. This is where we part company. This is where we part ways. Ezra ran out his bridges. I think he's a great actor. I do. That personal goofy shit, look, man, you need to go. I don't even know if you need help. You do need some jail time. Maybe that'll straighten your ass out. So whatever The Rock was bringing me back, I'd be happy about it. But a lot of these critics going after this movie is partly on The Rock being there out front. It's partly on The Rock coming in and trying to establish some dominance in that situation. Is another part is all the Warner Brothers side shit. I mentioned it in my reaction. A lot of this shit is because Zaslav came in there getting rid of all of that woke shit. And this is his first offering after getting rid of all that woke shit. Now, to me, this looks like what I would call the Solo effect, right? You remember when a little movie called Last Jedi came out, right? And how that studio head, Miss KK, just thought that it was going to be all the rage. And we got Rian Johnson to do this, and this is what it's going to be. Well, Riri Johnson turned out a piece of shit movie for Star Wars. And KK still backed it. The fans saw that shit and lost their goddamn minds and was pissed with no recourse. And they didn't want to listen to the fans. Oh no, there's just a small minority of people don't listen to them. The same talking point they got from Warner Brothers, Miss Ann. Same talking point. She the one originated that shit. So what happened when they put out their second Star Wars movie, I think that same year? Or right at the following year? Solo? What did Solo get? What did Solo get? Solo got fucking destroyed. Destroyed. By who? I pointed this out before. Name the bad Ron Howard movies. Name the bad Ron Howard movies. Because you wouldn't even know that was a Ron Howard movie. Nobody seems to remember that shit. They just say Solo sucked ass. Because this actor doesn't look like Harrison Ford. Who gives a fuck? Harrison Ford ain't even got no kids, does he? Was it a good jumping off point? I watched the movie. Did it have flaws? Yes. There are no perfect movies. None. Not a one. On a 10 scale, you're only getting a 9. You're not getting a 10. Nothing touched by man is perfect. Nothing. So there is no fucking way in hell you take a comic book, turn it into a movie, you get a perfect 10 adaptation. No goddamn way. Different rules apply, whole different platform, different kitchen with a bunch of different goddamn chefs. No. You come really close to a 10, but it ain't there. Even Lord of the Rings by Peter Jackson was awesome. I didn't give it a 10. It could be a high 9.7 or some shit, but it ain't a 10. You know why? Because Tolkien didn't do it himself. It's not his book. So, Solo was not a terrible movie to me. It was a good jumping off point. I would still, right now, if they said next week, Solo 2 is coming out with the same actors, Donald Glover, young Lando, young Han, and fucking Miss Daenerys, Amelia Clark, showing up as me and Kira. Yeah, I watched that shit. Can I get a little bit more of that Darth Maul crime syndicate shit? Yeah, I'll watch it. I will. Because I want to see young Han and young Lando getting in the shit. I want to see Kira getting tutelage in the dark side from Darth Maul running this crime organization. I want to see that shit. That's interesting to me. It is. I'd watch that shit. I would pay actual money for that. Think I'm going to get it? No. Because Hollywood nowadays and some of these studio heads don't give a fuck about the fans. You think they do? Ask Kevin Feige what was the problem with this fucking She-Hulk show. Go ask Jeff and that bitch over there at Amazon Prime what the fuck was the deal with this Rings of Power shit. Because don't ask them two fucking Muppets sitting up there talking about they fucking screenwriters or showrunners. Don't talk to them fucking goofy asses. No, those are fucking finger puppets. Okay? Don't talk to them. They don't know what the fuck they talking about half the damn time and contradict themselves interview to interview. You didn't read the shit and you just wanted to steal from somebody else's stuff because you couldn't figure out how to string this all together. Whatever the fuck, man. Yeah, D+, beat it. They don't give a fuck about the fans. Now this movie comes out, the main person behind it, pushing it the whole time, is telling you he's doing it for you. He's giving it what he believes you want. And you know what he left out of that shit? There's no feminine elevation. There's no weak men. There's no rainbow agenda. There ain't none of that shit in this movie. Now, I guarantee you, I fucking guarantee you 100% this next Black Panther movie, Wakanda Forever, I bet you get all 3 of those. I bet you do. I bet you get all 3 of those in fucking spades. Bet money. Bet. Oh, hell yeah, Double C. Demolition Man came out in the 90s. That shit was awesome. Making fun of the very same thing. PC culture. Fucking ass. Yep, I'm taking these so I can go use the bathroom because that's what these are good for. This ain't kind of rough, but that's your asshole, man. That's your asshole. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. $ artisanmc. PayPal, artisanmc. Don't sit here and just be taking shit for free. Drop something in them brother's cup. Because trust and believe, I know who my audience is and I know what I got extra clouds is. Yeah. A lot of good movies came out in the 90s. Yeah. The 90s were the period of the action hero. You got Schwarzenegger going off, you got Stallone going off, you got Bruce Willis going off. You got new action stars emerging as Wesley. I think Passenger 57 came out in the 90s. Nigga, you out of your goddamn mind? Demolition Man? Come on, dude. You got Judge Dredd in the 90s too. I mean, that's why you have to list. I'm telling you guys, these fucking critics, you have to understand who they are and what position they're coming from when they critique this shit. They're not coming from your position. They're not. I critique shit from my perspective. I've told you that all the time. You can like it, not like it. It is what it is. I'm not here to convince you one way or the other. I'm here to tell you what I thought of it, and if I think it might be good for you to watch, what you might like about it. And leave it out there. You either watch it or you don't. I don't make no money off of it either way. None. Nobody is kicking a dime in my pocket and say, hey, you did a good review of this, of us. Come on, why don't you come to this early access event? That's not what I get. No, that's not what's happening. I'm watching this shit because I am a fan. I am the paying customer. I am the person paying my money to go watch this shit and tell you, I didn't think it was that good. Or, shit, that was awesome for me. But I'm also the one who actually had a comic book store and have to read these comics and understand when they're pushing bullshit out there through comic books and what the actual character in the story is. I'm not the one talking about some shit for the 1980s that this is not with the character right now. It's not dated knowledge in that sense. So I don't know what people was fucking expecting. I really don't. I guess they were expecting Captain America, Civil War or some shit. A big, deep, drawn out, emotional story about this and that and the other. You don't even know this fucking character yet. I've told you guys here many a fucking times, the first movie for a superhero franchise is that write-off because they got to do too much fucking work to get you familiarized with the character. For the average movie-going audience who doesn't even read fucking comics, who just likes going to the theater and seeing movies on a Friday night, they get attracted to maybe who's starring in this shit and a little bit of what it's about. They know nothing about this character whatsoever. And when they sit down in the movie, it's the movie's job through the course of 2 hours to try to give them a little bit about this character, give them a little bit about their history, and give them enough to be invested to say, at the end of that 2 hours, do I want to see another movie with this character? It's a lot of fucking work to do in the first movie. That's why superhero movies traditionally, first movies are not fucking good. They don't get good until the second movie because then all that expositionary shit, which is getting you familiar with the character, is already done in the first movie. The second movie, they just get off to the races with doing what the character does. They don't have to explain all that backstory and origin shit anymore. They just move on. That's why I'm not a fan of origin movies going forward. I don't care. I don't need it. The regular movie-going audience does. I don't need that shit. I don't want to see another origin over and over and over and over again. Been watching this shit since I was a kid. That's goddamn 30, 40 fucking years of this shit. Look, There's certain characters I don't need another origin for. I don't. I'm good. I'm good. If I see an origin pop up in the beginning of that movie, I'm getting up and going to take a piss. I will. I will get up and go take a piss because I don't need another origin. I don't. This character, since nobody really knows shit about the fucking character, you have to have a little bit of an origin. And here's the thing. In this movie, what's not to get about the origin and the setup of this shit? These people were enslaved for a natural resource. And someone amongst those slaves, a bunch of brown people, rose up with the power to challenge the king at that time, emperor, whatever the fuck his name was, at that time, who was enslaving all these people. And because that hero who rose up from the people was given power to dethrone this guy and set his people free, ooh, sound like some emancipation. Sounds like some Nat Turner shit, don't it? When he found his father and mother fucking attacked and dying, he gave his power to his father to save him. And once he did that, that emperor killed him. And that hero, that champion of the people, died in front of his recently empowered father. What did you think his father did when he saw that shit? You just killed my only son. What do you think he fucking did? Cried about it? Went and wiped his vagina, put in a tampon? He went out there and killed all the motherfuckers. Every one of them. I'm still missing the problem here. Now, the people who did not give him those powers found out he had them and what he did and tried to take them, and he went against them too, because at this rate, what is it, 7 people on one, they just start attacking his ass? Well, fuck you too. And he killed almost all of them, except for one who trapped his ass in a prison of magic, not the Phantom Zone. Now, thousands of years later, he gets revived. What do you think happens to a guy who's been in suspended animation for 5,000 years, and the last thing he remembers when he went into suspended animation is that these motherfuckers was fighting him? What do you think happens when that dude pops out of there? Think he just gonna be cool, like, oh, I'm glad that's over? No, he get right back to the shit he was doing when he got prison, that shit. When he went into suspended animation, he came out on that same shit. Who is you? These motherfuckers attacking me? What the fuck is this? Look, man, y'all need to cut this shit out. Leave me the fuck alone so I can figure out what's going on and where the hell I am. Still not having a problem with this shit yet. Still not having a problem with this shit yet. And 5,000 years later, he comes out and sees his country has changed. He doesn't recognize it. So now he's like Captain America, a man at a time. But the same shit is still going on to his country and the people of his country. They are still being oppressed. Just this time, it's not an emperor, it's a whole fucking organization. Well, fuck them too. I don't see how that's hard to track. Oh, the story, it was left a lot to be desired. Of what? He's setting his people free. Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. A dark-skinned hero setting his people free is, it's mediocre. It's nothing that you can just grab onto and understand. I fucking get it. Because it wasn't a fucking slave movie, right? I get it. He was killing the oppressors, huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. I get why you're upset. I get it. I get it. Yeah. I totally understand. Totally get it. Yeah, totally get it. Yeah, you're right. This was a shitty movie. Now, that's a brief synopsis of a movie. Brief. That doesn't even ruin the fucking movie. But y'all in here. Some of y'all I know. It's all black folks. Some of the cloud sitters that ain't saying shit in the chat, probably not. Does that disturb you in any sense? Does that make it seem like it's not good for you? Like, I wouldn't watch that. You know, he out there killing people, oppressing his folks. That I need more emotional story. What's more emotional than a father seeing his wife killed and his son killed? His people being enslaved and actually standing up and taking down the enslavers. The fuck? You just turned the fucking Dahomey into whole fucking heroes doing this shit. And they were people selling slaves. But this movie with this black dude in front of it, like, nah, these people fucking up my country and my people. They on the outs list. Oh no, this was a shit movie. This was the worst movie ever. Really? Really? You might want to check your clothes. Your hood is showing, motherfucker. The fuck out of here. It's so fucking stupid. So goddamn stupid, dude. And it's so transparent to me. Frame Runner got jokes today. Oh, that frame is running at speed, ain't it? He said Amanda Waller remind me of Stacey Abrams. I'm not getting into the goddamn politics. Amanda Waller is Amanda Waller. Wall is the wall. Okay? Look, she showed up in that shit and I was like, oh shit, it's Dahomey. I told y'all why when I watched The Woman King, why I don't shit on Viola Davis? Because Viola Davis does look like she'd kill a dude. She would. She does look like she'd kill a dude. That's why I didn't have a problem when she buffed up in Woman King. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I totally believe that shit. Totally believe it. She showed up in this shit as Amanda Waller. I'm like, she might got a crew. Why do you believe her as Amanda Waller? You know Amanda Waller will kill people, right? Did you not see that David Ayer Suicide Squad? When they finally came to pick her ass up, what did she do? She killed the staff that was helping her. Pop, 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 pop. They got the fuck out of there. They didn't have clearance. What? God damn, dude. They just let the people here to rescue your ass and you just capped them all because they didn't have classified. They didn't have a clearance to be at that level to know what was going on. Holy shit. No, I believed it. So I don't know if that's what Stacey Abrams is on whatsoever. I don't give a fuck about that woman. I hope she lose. But I'm just saying, that was some funny shit. Studio said, I'm happy with the storyline. Rail with it unless you feel sorry for the oppressor. No shit. Yeah, no shit. Unless you have an issue with white dudes with guns in a country full of brown people getting taken out. Because that was one of the telling things in that article I read that showed that this dickhead that wrote the article didn't actually watch the movie. He thought those people were the government. He named the Intergang as the government. That these people were just revolutionaries fighting against the government. That wasn't the government, you dumb motherfucker. That was a whole crime organization that took over that fucking region. Took over the region for their resources and subjected all the people that were there to all this, where's your papers? You can't go through this blockade. They locked down that whole fucking country. They were not the installed government. No. Those were fucking, I don't know what you call them, insurgents or whatever the fuck. That was not the elected government of that country, you idiot. So that's why nobody gave a fuck about them getting killed. And that's why the ISIS character even told that shit to Hawkman when they showed up talking that big shit about, no, he's the problem. He got to come here. And like, you wasn't coming down here helping us before. We got a hero now and you want him to, no, stop? No, get the fuck out of here. Fuck off. We got it. No, we good now. We good. We don't need your help. That's why. Waller reminds me of Danzo from Naruto. Stopping at no amount of bloodshed to ensure victory. No shit, Herb. Look, what was Danzo's group called? The root, right? The root of this tree got to be the strongest part. If the roots aren't strong, the tree will fall over. Danzo was about that leaf village. He's about that leaf life. He was not. Look, you can say he was a bad dude all day long. He did some questionable shit, but Danzo was all about making sure that leaf village lived. And look, the blood of many people would nurture the soil for that tree. It will happen. Ask the Itachi clan. Just say, holy shit. Yeah, the homies will sell you out. Yes, they will. Yeah, kill Slipknot without hesitation. Look, somebody got to be made an example of. This is a Suicide Squad, motherfucker. This ain't called Everybody Lives today. No. Blew his fucking dome off and left his ass hanging there as a warning. Get your asses on your mission. Come get me. What up, AB? Said he beaming in. So that's my thing on this shit. There's a lot of bull crap popped up in this, and you saw it happening way before the movie even came out when they were talking about this whole thing about boycotting The Rock and boycotting this movie. And I thought that was the weirdest thing to fucking hear. Like a week, 2 weeks before the movie even released. Like, what are you boycotting The Rock for? And that's why I made that short about that dumb shit about, oh, he's erasing the Snyderverse and Superman. Like, what? No, he's not. That's not. The Rock has openly stated, and I said this shit, and I remember arguing with people about this. He openly stated he wants Henry Cavill Superman. He wants to see Black Adam go up against Henry Cavill Superman. Which, think of it this way, in wrestling terms. You got this new face on the scene. Big, dominating dude. You have an established face in there. They ain't met each other yet. Who do you put on the WrestleMania card? The two of them fighting? Or him and some other little motherfucker with a questionable record? You out of your fucking mind? Yeah, you want to see Black Adam and Superman go at it. Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? What was the fun part about watching Man of Steel? Zod kicking off in his ass. That was the fun part of that shit. Now, you can bitch all day long about how people hate Zack Snyder or whatever. I don't give a fuck. Look, there's a lot of shitty directors out there. Zack Snyder is good at doing what he does. Special effects and ridiculous amounts of destruction. He's good at doing that shit. David S. Goyer, like I told you, that motherfucker needs training wheels all the time. I'm not trusting shit he doing by himself right. You need to work with somebody else. I don't like it. I'll tolerate it. I don't fucking like it. Man of Steel was good. It was good to me. Only thing I thought of initially was he didn't save enough people. A lot of people got killed. But that's what Zack Snyder does. But then I thought about it. This is day one on the job. Okay, some shit is going to get fucked up. It's day one on the job. He just learned how to fly 15 minutes ago. And he fighting trained soldiers. Yeah, he's going to get his ass kicked. He should be getting his ass kicked. That's why I didn't see it as, oh, it's the feminist trope. She whooping his ass. No, Feora should have been kicking his ass because she was at least trained to fight. And Feora was kicking off in his ass in an IHOP, flapjacking his ass all over the place. I didn't have a problem with that. He didn't know how to fight. He had never had to fight somebody on that level like that. You can't tell me this motherfucker had power since the time he popped down on his earth and took his first piss without, sitting on a potty seat. Never had a fight because he had to hold himself back or he could have killed somebody. And then all of a sudden he gonna jump off the porch at 32 and now he can take soldiers and shit. I got hands, nigga. No, you don't. No, you don't have hands. Trust me, your father never taught you how to fight. Jonathan Kidd never told you how to throw those. He never did. Never. So you expecting everything just to go down because you're strong. Well, these people don't go down because they're just as strong as your ass is. And they've actually been fighting for years before they even showed up here. You're going to get your ass kicked, super or not. It's a good thing they just called you the Man of Steel because that steel was on your ass to keep you from getting completely fucking wrecked. Yeah, he got his shots in on Feora. He did. But he was getting his ass kicked. Look, you in a fight with sledgehammers, motherfucker. I expect you, even if you get one lucky shot next to John Henry, well, you should because you're swinging a fucking sledgehammer. But I expect John Henry to pound your ass into the ground. He's just more comfortable with that shit. Oh yeah, Ray Hama. Yeah, don't say that shit too loud. You're gonna pull Charles off the clouds. The man of tomorrow for real. The real black Superman in this space. he go sonic boom in on your ass. What? Talking about my Superman? Did you say that? Jarrell was a scientist, not a soldier, and he's supposed to know how to fight. Jarrell knew how to fight. Fucking Maximus Jarrell? That motherfucker, look, they came to Jarrell's lab looking for some static. He was blasting motherfuckers. Look, Kryptonians get it in, but Clark Kal-El was not raised on Krypton. He was raised in Kansas. And he never had to throw a punch in his whole life. So I'm expecting him to get fucked up. Yeah, she was giving him that work. And she should. She should have. She should have been giving him that work. That's why I wasn't upset about it. He finally started getting with it, using what he do know. This earth, this planet, these powers. He's had these powers longer. He got to fall back on what he know, which means I got to use these powers better. And you see when it came down to it, look, you're going to have to kill me. You're going to have to kill me. What you got? I still say he could have just covered that nigga's eyes. I say he still could have did that shit. Or just Superman leaped up. Something. You had to kill his ass, but Snyder flick. Somebody gonna die in a Snyder flick. I don't know what y'all thinking of. Somebody is going to die. You have to die. Did you see Watchmen? You fucking leveled New York, nigga. Somebody's gonna have to die. The Snyder flick. I'm not upset about that shit. And property damage, destruction, yeah, it's gonna be epic levels. Yeah, that's what he does. I'm not surprised. I'm not even upset. But if you are, I ask you, what were you expecting then? Just saying. Oh, the numbers fell off. I guess everybody got enough notes. They're going back to do their fucking videos now. What if Superman knew martial arts? He'd be Batman with Superman powers. He'd be a problem. That's why Wonder Woman is a problem. Wonder Woman actually knows how to fight. And her fighting is not reliant on her superpowers. That's why she sits at the top tier of those people in DC who are the best fighters. You know who falls under her? People who don't really have powers. So, like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. Um, as a side note, I was thinking about something today that I thought was really funny about this Black Adam shit, where people was talking about how many people he was actually killing. And even though it's a PG-13 movie, he was doing some hellacious beatings on some of these people. Like the one dude that he was slamming his ass by his arm like that Hulk shit. But the motherfucker, he threw the motherfucker, but he was still holding on to his arm. And just shit just ripped out of his body like, damn. God dang. I was like, yeah. That's how that shit will usually happen. That was messed up. But given that, who I would put in a superhero mashup if I want to see them have a versus, Black Adam and Omni-Man from Invincible. They don't give a fuck about people, dude. They do not care about people. You drop Omni-Man in Kahndaq, it's going to be a problem. It is going to be a major global problem, dude. Because Omni-Man gonna be there like, fuck these people. And Black Adam is gonna be there like, these my people. And Omni-Man's gonna look at him like, I don't care. Point me to the nearest subway and I'll show you. That would be a fight to see. Dude. Because talk about no fucks given. There ain't no fucks enough between the two of them to say they gave in. That would be a hellacious fight, dude. I'd pay some serious money. I'd pay some IMAX money for that kind of fight on screen. Oh hell yeah, I would. That oh my god, that would be epic. In a World War III comic, Black Adam killed millions. Yeah, because he's capable of that shit. And here's the thing. I explained this to Dr. Anwar last night about somebody said that they thought that Black Adam was OP. He was overpowered in this shit. Black Adam is not overpowered. You realize Black Adam has the same power as Shazam. He has the same power. They at the same level. The only difference is Black Adam don't hold back. And he's had the powers longer. He does not hold back. He knows how to use the shit. And he uses it. He doesn't have a problem doing it. When that motherfucker go in, he goes all in. 2 feet and both hands. He in. There's nothing really more you can say about it. You're going to have to come with it. Otherwise, you're just going to get your ass beat or killed. Because that's what he's going for. He's going for the resolution. He ain't going for the peace talks. That's Superman's job. A Boy Scout. Black Adam is not a Boy Scout. Everybody want to say he's an anti-hero. That's the term that most closely fits. He has been on the Justice Society. He has been on some heroic teams. But there are some themes that carry over that people can make reference to that makes it easy for their minds to understand what type of person he is. It's like, oh, well, he's like Black Panther with Wakanda, or he's like Namor with Under the Sea. I'm like, look, I told you guys before, there's certain characters in comic books where they only care about their people. They only care about their people. In Marvel, it's Black Panther and Namor, because they are kings who rule countries, right? One under the sea, one above the sea. In DC, there's 2. Black Adam and Sinestro. They care about their people. And they will go that extra step to killing motherfuckers who mess with their people. They have no qualms about doing that shit. That's what makes those characters interesting. Interestingly enough, in DC, they both wear black and yellow. Just one plays up the black more, one plays up the yellow more. It's just a funny thing. It's just a funny thing, right? But that's what they're about. They're about their people. Black Panther is about his people. Plays up the black. Namor cares about his people. It's possible you can't get killed fucking around with Namor. Uh-oh. Got a call. 1 second, you guys. 1 second, 1 second. All right, people, I'm still here. I just got a call, but it's not necessarily something I can actually repair because we don't do power lines in trees. So I need to get pictures and call my soup to see how we handle this shit. So 1 second, you guys. I'm gonna just write this note real quick. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined, and just give me a second. See, I'm glad I started early. Glad I started early. There isn't much I can do about this, though, except take a picture. What's up, Aaron? All right, Herb, I see you. Sounds like a call for the election. Yeah, it does sound like a call for electric company, Aquatechie. That's what I told him. But I will call my super and see what's what. I do so like not being in charge nowadays. 1 sec. And we're back. Everybody needs to make a couple of calls. So my clothes are done. And now we're back at it. All right, so moving on. What is this? 2 hours in? Might be a good place to shut it off now. And maybe I can come back in a bit and then open it up for you guys who actually have seen the movie and want to share your thoughts on it. But eventually I'm gonna get a call back and I need to get out here and go look at this spot and get some pictures so we can actually deal with PG&E and the fire department to figure out how to get this stuff handled. So, thank you folks for coming through today, listening to my rant on this Black Adam stuff. The point of all this ranting and raving is don't listen to these critics with this shit. Understand where they're coming from. They want this movie to fail financially. They want it to fail financially. Why? Because it smears egg in the face of The Rock for coming in trying to be too masculine, and it smears mud in the face of David Zaslav at Warner Brothers for coming in and kicking out all that woke shit. That's why. That's the short version of why. If you look at all the rest of the stuff that I lined out for you, look into it yourself, you'll see the same pattern. You'll see the same pattern. That's all it is. It is the solo effect, which is attacking the next thing that's brought out because they didn't get something they wanted. They're going to attack the next thing that comes out. The next thing with Zaslav's seal of approval on it was this Black Adam movie. And that's why the critics are really on board with shitting on this and what in essence is a review bomb. They're review bombing this shit to say it's like the worst movie ever when it's a fucking average movie. So what? It's some other shit that's out there average right now too. The Woman King was an average fucking movie. Historically inaccurate as fuck, but an average goddamn movie. So what are we talking about exactly? BMT, I will. I can't check it while I'm on my phone streaming. I'm on my phone streaming. So I saw the alert that somebody put a Cash App in, but since I've been on for 2 hours and that's the only time this shit went off, that means the 300 or so people that was in here wasn't donating a goddamn thing. They just in here ear hustling. So If you donate it in the chat, if you're in the chat and you donate it, thank you. I appreciate that shit. You will get those praying hands from me when I can see it, but I can't see it right now while I'm streaming. I got a message and some other alert up here for one of my games that is not showing me the other thing. No, that's cool, BMT. It's not that big of a deal. What up, Dr. Anwar? You're a little late. I'm about to shut it down now because I just got an emergency call that I have to take care of it, dealing with electricity and shit like that. So we got to get that shit rectified for the whole complex be out. But go back and listen to my ranting and raving on this Black Adam shit from 2 hours ago. So yeah, if you want to see the movie, like I always tell you, decide for your fucking self. If you want to go see the movie, go see the movie. If you don't want to go see the movie, don't go see the fucking movie. It's very fucking simple. Like, y'all can look at me. I went and saw The Woman King. Most of y'all didn't. And I told you it wasn't that bad of a fucking movie. Just wasn't. It just is what it is. It wasn't that bad of a fucking movie. Yes, it's historically inaccurate, but it wasn't that bad of a movie. I have a little girl. Well, she ain't little so much anymore. She's a grown woman. But if I was taking a little girl to go see a movie, that would be the one I'd take her to see. Regardless of how historically inaccurate it was, I like to have her seeing some women kicking somebody's ass. I would. Because I don't want her to be no shrinking violet. I'm not going back to the 1950s where a chicken would get slapped around. She, no, fuck all that. Not my kid, not my daughter, nigga. No. My daughter's trained to kill. Dudes. So, fuck you on that. So, I watched it. It wasn't that bad. It just wasn't. It just wasn't that bad. And that's just being honest. So, same thing with Black Adam. It wasn't that bad. About average. I don't usually give number ratings on the shit. Excuse me. I'm just telling you, it wasn't that bad of a fucking movie. It wasn't. Not to the tune that these people are talking about. To where they need to micromanage the fucking earnings numbers to see if they're having an effect on how much this movie is earning or not. And trying to drive that number down as low as they can. And calling failure before the race is even done. They try to call a winner or a loser before the race is even finished. It's the fucking weekend. Weekend box office numbers, as far as I know, are not done until the weekend is over. So why do you got people on Thursday telling you it's a failure? Friday it's a failure. Saturday it's a failure. Sunday fucking morning it's a failure. How do you have critics telling you that shit? Why are they watching this one movie that goddamn closely? Because they dislike The Rock and they hate Warner Brothers' direction, which is kicking out all this woke shit. Critics love that woke shit. You don't think so? Where was the critics panning Thor 4? Where were they? They weren't, because they love that shit. What they don't like is black men and masculinity. They hate the fuck out of that shit. And that's what you're seeing from these fucking critics. So, you go watch the movie if you want to. I hear what critics say, but I don't listen to them. I learned that shit way back in the day with Siskel and Ebert. Critics have their opinion, but they usually pay. That's their job, their fucking job. But their opinion ain't mine. It's theirs. I'll decide for myself which movies I like and don't like, and where I will go and where I won't go. And it won't be just because a critic said you shouldn't watch this movie. It's shit. Who the fuck are you? Do you know my mind? No, you speaking for you. I'll speak for me. I know what I like. And I kind of know what you like. And those two things don't match up all the time. So, yeah, Aquatechy, facts. Weekend ain't over till Monday at midnight. Why the fuck you telling me this movie failed at the box office for the weekend? Is it not fucking Sunday? Are we living in a time loop or something? Did I miss a day? Motherfuckers been talking that shit since fucking Thursday night. Since Thursday night. The pre-opening? I don't remember a movie getting this much scrutiny over how much money it made. On a Thursday night. The opening night is Friday. You giving me numbers from Thursday night, telling me how much it was failing already. Who are you trying to affect? The people that would go see it Friday and Saturday. That's who you're trying to affect. And Mr. DC Comics, that's what they're realizing now, that it still hasn't opened up internationally. This is just domestic sales. I'll point out to this, because that's what the next numbers they're going to be looking for. That's who they're trying to get, bad reviews. And one of the things they're looking at is China. Like, oh no, China might not put it out. Why wouldn't they? China don't like that woke shit y'all push. And this has none of that woke shit in it. So why wouldn't China open it up? They got a problem with, I don't know, white oppressors being killed? You think they do? I don't think so. I don't think they have a problem with that shit at all. I think they'd enjoy it. Now, they might have an issue with black folks, but look, from what I understand, Fast and the Furious do big numbers over there. And The Rock has been in a few of them movies. Might be all right. Yeah, trust me. Like you complaining right now, domestic box office don't run the roost on how good these movies do. And haven't for a long time. So, shut the fuck up. 1 second. All right, that was the callback. So I do need to go and get this cracking right now because this is an actual fucking emergency. So what up, 3T? You late, sweetie? BTM in the building. Thighs have arrived. We got chicken thighs. Chicken thighs. Pablo Picante. Picante sauce. He said, thanks for calling it out, bro. Look, that's what the fuck we do. Look, if it's bullshit, it's bullshit. And I'm having a reaction to hearing this shit because it's so blatantly obvious to me what is actually going on. I mean, the fucking YouTuber that I was seeing that was making these videos, it's like, I've never seen this motherfucker make so many videos about one fucking movie opening ever. And it's literally like almost every fucking 3 goddamn hours. And it's all about the numbers and how bad this movie is. Like, motherfucker, just make one video saying you hate The Rock and anything they doing over at Warner Brothers. Just fucking say that. Just say that. Because not long ago, this motherfucker was out there trying to throw a video up talking about they'll never bring Henry Cavill back. And then he had to retract that shit, which he didn't, when The Rock said, oh, yeah, Henry Cavill is coming back. And now he's here. Shut the fuck up. Fucking Disney shill. God damn, dude, just be honest. Ain't that goddamn hard? Toya, you ain't shit. She said the thighs have arrived. Funny, Toya. Funny, funny, funny. But I got to get out of here. I got to get my work clothes back on and get over here to see what's going on with this in case there's a power outage. Thank you guys for coming through today. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. If you're watching this on the replay, you can still pay the Cash App. Yeah, that shit, Cash App never closes. It does. So you see the shit scrolling across the screen, $ artisanmc or PayPal artisanmc. When I get free, I will fire up the stream again and give you guys time to come in and talk if it's not too late. Right? So you can get out what you want to say about this, especially if you have seen the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, you're an adult. Figure out if you want some of the shit spoiled or not. Because I try to moderate it so it's not spoiled too much, but with all the fucking hatred that's going on with this movie right now, and it's not people who actually either like The Rock or give a fuck about Warner Brothers necessarily, I'd rather legitimate critique of the movie rather than blanket statements about, well, he didn't change the hierarchy of power this way. Stop speaking in your fucking insecurity, goofy motherfucker. Look, by him helping bring Henry Cavill back as Superman, yeah, the hierarchy ain't changed now, has it? But he was gone when he said that. So he was right. So thank you guys for coming through. I got to get out of here. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace. Oh. I don't like them. I just don't. I just always make fun of them. Like, it's a reason. I mean, I'm a good person. I love it. I love a lot of people, man. But I can see evil. I can look right through you like Scotch tape. I don't like motherfuckers that ain't never have no money when they finally get some money. They act funny. I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like when folks tell them they co-defendants for reduced time knowing they both did the crime. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like when niggas track me in they mess. E40 said this, E40 said that. That's some sucker shit, you pussies hella fake. Got my name in their mouth, cause my name carry weight. So many really fruitful gang, goofy cornballs. Where your daddies and your uncles at? Who raised y'all? If the shoe fit, then wear it, my nigga, please. These are ones that you bless even when you sneeze. I don't know nobody shit, I didn't get along. At the beginning of my career, I was all alone. No matter what you do for food, they ain't satisfied. They wouldn't send their condolences if your mama died. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. Frenemies become enemies, funk. Don't play checkers no more, we play tongue. I smash for one you niggas, say I won't. Say I won't. I don't like motherfuckers that ain't never had no money, when they finally get some money, they act funny. I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like when folks tell them they co-defendants for reduced time knowing they both did the crime. I don't like them. I don't like cut, big, I don't like niggas that rap. So don't bring that sucker with you when you come through to the trap. I don't like when niggas try to cap.
I don't like when niggas smile in my face and talk behind my back. Niggas can't keep it a rap. Not ready to buy lows. How you run off with a pack? Type of shit is that. Type of shit that'll get you whacked. I don't like when bitches say with this game I got this shit you lack. Put the house on it, bet that's a fact. I don't like when I pass my weed and a nigga don't pass it back. Smoked out and I'm tapped. I don't like when the police walk into my car and want my windows cracked. Take that somewhere else. I don't like when a dirty ass bitch don't care about her health. I don't like shit, but that stick on the shelf. I don't like shit, so I stick to myself. I don't like motherfuckers that never had no money when they finally get some money, they ask money. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like when folks tell them they co-defendants for reduced time knowing they both did the crime. I don't like it. I don't like it. Hey, nigga on that wet shit, capsize, playing with them all times, front door, motorized, trap house, televised. I don't like it. I don't like the cooperate. Indictment, out last thing out of each suit. I was from my young boy, coming off the stoop. I don't like the temperature. I'ma go adjust it down. It's enough for everybody. Go to the crowd, nigga. The coke and smile, nigga. Big bag of that loud, nigga. I don't like when they ears drop, nigga. Get so high, nigga, ears pop. Switch up with that bread,